Call to order, Bedford Township Planning Commission, regular meeting, November 28th. If you all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Steven, if you could take the roll.
Ms. Tinnerberry.
Here, present.
Mr. Zybeck.
Here.
Mr. Jenkins.
Here.
Mr. Garbrick.
Here.
Stefan is present. Mr. Fritz.
Here.
Chairman Anger.
Here. Next, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Does anyone that'd like to make a motion?
Motion to approve agenda.
Support. Give it to Dennis.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Next, we on to approval of the minutes of the November 14th meeting. This is for anyone that was here that would like to make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2018 meeting.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, we have two abstained that were not here. Next, we move on to setting the dates and times for the 2019 Planning Commission meetings. Karen, is this something you need to review, or just to make a motion to approve them, or how do we?
The times that are posted and the dates that are posted are abide by our bylaws that we have set. So we would have to amend our bylaws to change the dates and times from the second and fourth Wednesday, first Wednesday on an as-needed basis, and the times. So if you want to consider any other time, we would have to review the bylaws and then make the changes.
Do we need a motion to approve what we have here in front of us then?
Yes.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the tentative dates here.
I'll make a motion to approve the dates listed in the 2019 meeting schedule for the Planning Commission.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Dates are set. Next, we have public comment. This is for anybody here that would like to make a comment that's not on the public hearings. During the public hearings for these two ponds, that will be a separate time that you can come up and speak if you like. If there's anybody here? Seeing that there is none, we will move on to new business. First is open to the public hearing regarding the request for special approval and final site plan approval for MALAK Pond on parcel number 5802-011-02300, otherwise known as 10232 Lewis Avenue, Temperance, Michigan. Karen, could you give us a background?
Yes. Excuse me. Again, the applicant is Michael and Angela MALAK of 10232 Lewis Avenue. It is for a pond site plan approval, parcel number 5802-011-02300. The engineer is Thompson Consulting Engineers on 35.72 acres. The property is residentially zoned. The applicant is requesting special approval and final site plan approval for a 51,174 square foot, which is 1.17 acre pond, located on a 35.72 acre parcel on Lewis Avenue, north of Erie Road. The parcel has 400.32 feet of frontage on Lewis Avenue and is approximately 2,645 feet in depth. As designed, the proposed pond meets the setback requirements of 50 feet from the property lines in the dwelling. The proposed side slopes of 6-to-1 at the beach area and the 4-to-1 slope on all other banks is in compliance with the pond ordinance with the high water elevation of 636.7 feet. A test dig indicates groundwater is located at an elevation of 636 feet with a low water level at 635 feet. It is noted, if necessary, the owner will install a point well to ensure the maintenance of the average and low water elevations with float set at 635, that's the low, and 636 is the average feet. The pond will be utilized for the landowner's personal recreational purposes, and all spoils from the excavation will be redistributed on the site at a spill around the proposed barn with the excess to be used to fill holes and build mounds. 3 safety stations are being proposed with 100 feet of rope, and the planning department has reviewed and approved the proposed locations. All disturbed areas are to be final graded, planted with grass seed, straw mulch cover, and maintained as necessary until vegetation has been established. As well, the pond will be kept healthy by natural convection and the addition of aquatic life. The Bedford Township Fire Inspector has reviewed and approved the submitted site plan, however, respectfully requests the driveway be maintained at all times to ensure open access to the pond in case of an emergency. If approvals have been received from the MINX and Smith Group and the fire department, a pond permit must be obtained through the building department prior to beginning the pond construction. A soil erosion control permit must be obtained from the Monroe County Drain Commission prior to construction.
Thank you, Karen. Is there someone from the applicant that would like to come up to the podium? I did not. If
Hello.
you could just state your name and address. Karen, do we open the public hearing after this? Or do I need to do
You
it?
can open the public hearing now,
Okay.
and then, once anyone in the audience has an opportunity to speak, then you can close the public hearing and further discussion will take place.
With that in mind, I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing first.
Motion to open the public hearing?
Support.
All in favor? Oh, we gotta take a roll, so.
Stefan votes yes. Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Yes.
Mr. Zybeck?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Fritz?
Yes.
Chairman Anger?
Yes. Public hearing is open. Okay, can you just state your name and address for the record?
Certainly. Angela MALAK, 10232 Lewis Avenue, Temperance, Michigan.
Is there anything you'd like to add to what Karen wrote or spoke to us earlier?
I think she covered it really well. Thank you
Okay.
for your consideration of our request.
You can have a seat then, and
Okay.
we,
I have can we ask questions of it?
after the public hearing's closed.
Oh, okay.
Come on, get with it, Nancy.
I'm
Is-
just learning the ropes.
If there's anyone that would like to speak on this public hearing, they can come to the podium at this time. Seeing that there is none, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Take a roll, please.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Stefan votes yes. Ms. Tinneberry?
Yes.
Mr. Zybeck?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Fritz?
Yes.
Chairman Anger?
Yes. Public hearing is open. Now we can discuss. If you could, sorry, come back up and answer any questions that the commission might have for you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Mr. Tinnery?
Hi.
Hi.
I believe that this recommendation by the fire inspector is very, very important with regard to the driveway being maintained at all times to ensure open access to the pond. We've had emergencies in the past. I'm quite a bit older than you, so you might not have been born at the time, but we have had emergencies with regard to ponds, and it is very, very important. Can I ask how you plan on maintaining that? Is it going to be stoned or just mowed and kept open?
The drive is weld slag now, and so we expect to continue that on, which is a material that holds up really well. When did we put it down? A year ago? So we won't maintain it as soil, but it will be maintained as a material that can be driven on,
Okay, wonderful.
driven on.
thanks.
In part of that maintenance, also, I'm assuming there's snow removal throughout the winter months and things like that. Being in
Absolutely.
close proximity to the parcel itself, I'm familiar with the process of making sure that driveway is maintained, right?
Yep, driveway is maintained, exactly.
Thanks.
Mr. Garvick?
I have no issues with it. I think it's great for the wildlife. It helps you build a house, your fill and everything around it, so I think it's great when we can have them, and like I say, as long as they get fire trucks in there, I think it's good for everybody.
We've been in a position where there was a fire down the road from our house, and we didn't have a fire hydrant with our church burning, and so having to have an alternate source for water, I think this was a really great solution.
I agree.
Until there is water brought over potentially with city water. And it doesn't help on the property tax, or the home taxes as well, not taxes, but homeowners insurance to be able to have the deduction with having that.
If there's no other comments, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make motion, given that the engineering survey recommends approval. I think it adds value in the area. Make a motion to approve the final site plan for the MALAK Pond on parcel number 580201102300, also known as 10232 Lewis Avenue in Temperance, Michigan. Contingent that that the appropriate permits to the building department are attained, and the soil erosion control permit is also attained from the Monroe County Drain Commission prior to construction.
I have a motion. Do I have support?
I'll support it, but a friendly amendment. Do you want to add special approval and final site plan approval?
Please. Thank you.
I support.
Thank you. If you could take the roll.
Stefan votes yes. Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Ms. Tinnevery?
Yes.
Mr. Zybek?
Yes.
Mr. Garverick?
Yes.
Mr. Fritz?
Yes.
Chairman Anger?
Yes. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Next is a open to the public hearing regarding the request for special approval and final site plan approval for the GATTER Pond on parcel number 5802-024-00357 on a vacant parcel located on MINX Road between East Substation Road and Temperance Road. Karen, could you give us a background on this?
The applicant, Shane and Tracy Gatter, currently at 50 Cabernet Lane, Oregon, Ohio. The parcel is 5802-024-00357, agriculturally zoned and 5 acres. The applicant is requesting special approval and final site plan approval for a 37,743 square foot or a .87 acre pond located on a 5-acre parcel on MINX Road, north of East Substation Road. The parcel has 359 feet of frontage on MINX Road and is approximately 609 feet in depth. As designed, the proposed pond meets the setback requirements of 50 feet from the property lines and the dwelling. The proposed side slope of 6-to-1 at the beach area and 4-to-1 slope on all other banks is in compliance with the pond ordinance, with a high water level of 597 feet. A test dig indicates groundwater is located at an elevation of 596.5 feet with a low water level at 595.5 feet. It is noted if necessary, the owner will install a point well to ensure the maintenance of the average low and water elevations with floats set at 595.5 and 596.5. The pond will be utilized for the landowner's personal recreational purposes, and all spoils from the excavation shall be redistributed on site per section 251.008.f pond design requirements. No earth matter or soil material excavated, graded, or disturbed as a result of the reconstruction of the pond shall be removed from the property, and pond approval shall be contingent upon a building permit submitted and approved from the building department as per section 251.006, location of ponds. The location of a pond may only be permitted as an accessory use incident to a public park facility, golf course, or single-family dwelling on a parcel of land not less than 5 acres in size in agriculturally zoned districts, or as an accessory use incident to a public park facility or golf course on parcel of land not less than 5 acres in size in single-family residential zoning districts R1 through R3, or as an accessory use incident to a single-family dwelling on parcels of land not less than 10 acres in size in single-family residential zoning districts R1 through R3, subject to special approval, as established and allowed by the Township of Bedford zoning ordinance. as may be amended, or similar a successor ordinance. 3 safety stations are being proposed with 100 feet of rope, and while there is approximately 20 feet of area without coverage, relocating or adding an additional safety station will not serve the area. The Planning Department has reviewed and approved the proposed locations. All disturbed areas are to be final graded, planted with grass seed with straw mulch cover, and maintained as necessary until vegetation has been established. As well, the pond will be kept healthy by natural convection and the addition of aquatic life. The Bedford Township Fire Inspector has reviewed and approved the submitted site plan, however, requests the driveway be maintained at all times to ensure open access to the pond in case of an emergency. Approvals have been received from the MALAK and Smith Group and the Fire Department. A pond permit must be obtained through the Building Department prior to beginning the pond construction, and a soil erosion control permit must be obtained from the Monroe County Drain Commission prior to construction. This pond is actually going to be in conjunction with a new home build, where the other one, there was an existing home. They're going to construct or install the pond, but they are going to use those wells around an accessory building. So this one is in conjunction with the new home build.
Thank you, Karen. Do we have a representative for the applicant here? You can come to the podium, and I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
If you could take the roll, Mr.
Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
Mr. Zybeck.
Yes.
Ms. Tinnevery.
Yes.
Mr. Garvrick.
Yes.
Stefan votes yes. Mr. Fritz.
Yes.
Chairman Anger.
Yes. Public hearing is open. If you could just give us your name and address for the record.
Shane Gatter of 50 Cabernet, Oregon, Ohio. I'm the homeowner of this parcel. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add to what was said by Karen?
No, I think Karen got it all. I think in addition, it is a flood zone, and all the soils will be maintained, so for a net soil change of 0 for the property, so we will be maintaining that flood zone volume of water as well.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public that would like to come speak? If you could just state your name and address for the record.
Larry Dickinson, 664 Substation. My property abuts against this property, and there's a great deal of drainage tile in the field. How is this going to impact the future use of the fields? Because there's fields north of it that also drain through that same piece of property, as well as my property. How's it going to affect our property?
I personally do not know the answer to that question. What's that?
We'll address it.
Well, it'll be addressed.
Thank you.
I guess I got a question. Your property drains onto their property?
Theirs drains onto mine. There used to be 37 acres, roughly, and they split it up into 5 acres, and I got the 7 on the end. There's a drainage ditch that cuts through my property. All this property drains through to mine into the drainage ditch.
So there'll be less water going your way if they do this? If there's
Well,
drainage
if
to
they
your-
sever the tiles, what effect is that gonna have? Is that gonna cause sediment to get into my system, to plug me up? Or is the other water coming down gonna get through?
I mean, if it's going the other way, they're cutting it off, there's gonna be less going your way, obviously.
Right, I'm concerned about the people on the other side too. Is theirs gonna drain like it is now? And also, if they build a house on top of the tile, that dish does fill to the top. So the water does go the other way. I don't want them to have problems with the water in the basement either. So I don't know if the tiles run north-south or east-west. And the neighbors that were around the time they did this have since passed away. And a couple that were there, they don't recall.
Marty?
Do you know which way the tiles drain to?
I don't.
Are you south or north of the property?
I'm south.
So you have the property that abuts Flat Creek?
Yes. My property splits, Black Creek splits my property.
Okay, so you're downstream or downhill from this parcel. So this was a parent parcel, which was a farm?
Yes, one
Farmland?
time.
In fact, was it farmed this year even?
Yes.
Okay. So there may or may not be field tile in that farm ground?
If you go to Minx Road, where the ditch crosses Minx Road, there's a large pipe coming out on my side, and there's always water coming out of it. So the assumption on my part is that there is drainage tile there.
Okay. Well, the private field tile are not within the purview or jurisdiction of the township, and I would even say they're not even in the jurisdiction of the Monroe County Drain Commission until that water hits the county drain, the public drain. So whatever field tile may be in there, and I don't doubt that there are field tile in there, is going to be a private matter for both you, and I would have to believe that you will be less affected by this than maybe the other people. There is another drain to the north. I did note it on the topographical survey that the grade seems to be dropping from 599 on the south end of the property to 598 on the north end. So it seems like this subject parcel, at least to the extent of this parcel, 350 feet wide, falls to the north. Doesn't mean that field tile necessarily go that way.
Well, I believe if you go further north, that it actually comes back.
Okay.
There's a home on the property on MINX, and that is higher than the field.
So I would believe that the field tile probably come to the Flat Creek where you're at. However, I don't know as if that's a topic or a subject for this site plan, which has to follow the parameters of the township's pond ordinance. You certainly have some cause for conversation with the developer or the property owners here, the applicants. If I were the applicants, I'd be more concerned than I would be if I were you, because of the exact reasons you stated. One, you don't want field tile coming into a pond or leaving a pond. You want to be able to control the quality of your water, know what's coming in and out. And furthermore, importantly, you don't want a field tile from upstream flooding their basement. It would be an endless source of water. So that's something that they should be very concerned
Well,
about.
I'm not sure they're aware of it, though. That's why I brought it here.
Well, perhaps they are now.
Yeah.
So, but as far as controlling, I don't see that any underground infrastructure drain tiles, unless you have an easement, or unless they have an easement, there are no rights between the property owners. So that may be ripe for some discussion between you and them, and maybe the engineer that designed the pond to help out and try and deal with those issues.
At the same time, if there's tile close to the pond, it's going to be hard to maintain a water level.
Yes.
I know the adjacent field to the west of it, there is tile there for sure. I've talked to the property owners that own that.
And there might be some satellite maps, aerial photos that are taken at the proper time of year just by luck, and I've seen this before, where you can pretty much tell what the grid of the field tile are, and it sounds like you've got a main that runs from north to south, so there might be some laterals tied into that main, and with some inspection and or close watching of the excavation, ought to be able to locate those and maybe head them off and tie into the main existing, and it might be prudent for everybody involved that the main is continued.
I think so too, especially with the owners north of this property. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe?
One of the things, when they dig their pond, they're gonna have to cap every tile off around, because it will drain their pond. So they're gonna have to cap them, because that's what it does, the ground perks, it finds it and it goes. So whoever digs that pond, it does it for a living, are gonna find them, go back so far, cap them, and, because otherwise they'll never hold water in their pond ever.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak on this behalf? Seeing that there is none, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Support?
Stefan votes yes. Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Tinnevery?
Yes.
Mr. Zybeck?
Yes.
Mr. Garvick?
Yes.
Mr. Fritz?
Yes.
Chairman Anger?
Yes. Motion approved. If the applicant would now come, so the... Thank you. Any, yes, Mrs. Tinnevery?
Well, my comment or question is the same as to the other with regard to maintaining the driveway that the fire inspector is requesting be maintained at all times, is there, what kind of a driveway do you have back into there?
Well, the proposed driveway is going to be a driveway from MINX up to the house itself. To get back to the pond was planned to be just the grass and soil.
Grass and soil, so how would you plan on maintaining that? Is it, because the important thing is, if you ever have someone, a drowning victim, or someone, you know, out in the pond, overcapped canoe or something, the emergency team would have to get back there.
I would have to talk to the fire inspector and ask him what he prefers, but right now it was planned just to be grass and soil.
Is the soil a soft soil where their trucks are very heavy? They
Right.
might get them stuck, or?
Well, and like you said, this is still brand new, right now farmland, so yes, it is soft
Okay.
currently, so that would have to go into the planning
Okay,
side.
as long as you're going to work with the fire inspector,
Absolutely.
that's good with me, thank you. So I guess, can I just, I'm sorry, I'm a woman, you know, I just can't think of things all at once. The house is not built yet,
No,
but does our ordinance allow for ponds to go in before houses are built? Obviously.
In conjunction with the new home build. You
So
can-
what's the time limit in terms of getting the home built?
They would have to pull the permit for the home, and then once they start the home, they will take the spoils from the pond, they will start excavating the pond
Okay.
for the backfill around the home.
Process is
Yes,
at the same time?
Concurrent.
yes.
I knew what you were trying to say.
Yeah, good, that's not good if you can read my mind.
If there's no other comment, I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to, excuse me, make a motion to, let me get my numbers up here. Grant special approval and final site plan approval for the Gatter Pond on parcel number 5802024033, 57 on a vacant parcel located on MINX Road between East Substation Road and Temperance Road, subject to the applicant obtaining a pond permit from the building official, soil erosion permit from the Monroe County Drain Commission, approval from Michigan Department of Environmental Quality regarding the cut and fill in the 100-year flood zone, and also work with the fire department on the access drive.
Support. Mr. Jenkins.
Karen had a question.
Did you have something here?
I'm sorry, I was speaking with the attorney. Did you say also contingent upon addressing all items of the fire department in the MALAK and Smith Group letters?
Is that a friendly amendment?
It-
Yes. Yeah, I'll accept that.
Thank you.
Would you still like to support?
I still would like to support. Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
Stefan votes yes. Ms. Tinneberry.
Yes,
Mr. Zybeck.
Yes.
Mr. Garbrick.
Yes.
Mr. Fritz.
Yes.
Chairman Anger.
Yes. Motion approved.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
can I ask you, sorry, I'm going to be a pain in the
Sure,
neck,
go
but,
ahead.
Karen said when the gentleman came up about the drainage that would be addressed, was it just what we talked about, or was there more?
No, I had an opportunity to speak to the gentleman that expressed some concern, so we were able to obtain some answers for him, and that's what we did.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that was all covered. Thank you.
Next, we will move on to public comment. This is for anyone in the audience that would like to say anything at all. Seeing that there is none, we will move on to new information. Karen?
I have no new information other than we do plan on having a meeting on the 12th of December. We have a couple of items that are tentative, so we are looking at the 12th.
Thank you.
More than likely canceling the 26th.
That would be nice. Any staff or commission comment?
I have a question. we're supposed to review the master plan every 5 years, and that's going to occur next year, right? Not necessarily a complete redo, but at least a review. Okay.
Are you volunteering?
No.
If there's no other comment, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Meeting adjourned.